Black Lagoon is an action-adventure anime production of Studio Madhouse and based on the manga by Ray Hiro. It follows a group of mercenaries. Japanese businessman Rokuro Kojima, who was on a delivery trip, is taken hostage by the Lagoon Company and its three members, Revy, Dutch, and Benny, who work under the order of Hotel Moscow and its leader, Balalaika. Though in the end, Rock, as he is labeled by the crew, is no longer of any value to them and is allowed to leave, but decides to join the Lagoon Company in exchange for his previous employment. Revy was really my favorite out of the Lagoon Company with the charisma she had about herself, also making her one of my most favorite female leads in any series. Rock was pretty enjoyable and goes through some drastic development, which I am glad that he did not remain timid as seen earlier on. Other protagonists including Dutch and Benny were not meaningless, nice to have, and helped the anime to refrain from focusing too heavily on Rock or Revy. Something the manga failed to include and that I thought was of significance was a backstory given to Rock in the very start of the first episode, showing how he endured through his rough work schedule. But despite this, the other characters had rather scant backstories, which it is all kept rather secretive. With characters such as Revy and Dutch, who had some really lively gun brawls and other pleasing forms of action. The villains also kept things productive, and this anime doesn't have the conventional villains as seen in most series. For Black Lagoon, they range from maids, nuns, neo-Nazis, assorted mafias, and etc. Since Black Lagoon was animated by Madhouse, there are many great expectations to be had, as you can never go wrong with most of what they've adapted. But I can't deny that the art would at times have a stale look about itself. On the other hand, there is still well-paced and sturdy animation. This anime contains one of the best composed soundtracks that I've heard, with tracks that consist of various mixtures of rock and techno and are quite fitting for the action of the series. But you've also got some mellow and sentimental themes as well. Red Fraction by Melsoft is the opening and the instrumental Don't Look Behind by Edison is the ending. Black Lagoon was for me a rare instance where I preferred the English dub over the Japanese dub. This also being because the majority of the characters themselves are Western or the accents would be suitable towards support characters from other countries. Dutch's voice actor Dean Redmond was by default better. I could not exactly tolerate Revi's Seiyu with her deep voice, as Megumi Toyoguchi is commonly known for speaking in a higher pitch, so voice actress Marika Hendricks had an advantage. Benny had the slight edge in English with Brian Drummond, however Daisuke Namikawa and Brad Swale both really delivered on their role as Rock. So overall, Black Lagoon gets a recommended approval rating. On the positive side, this is one of the best soundtracks I've heard. You have a solid character cast with their development. The action always remains suspenseful with the villains. There's some great voice acting, personally in the English version, and the animation was good. While on the negative side, the artwork would get pretty stale at times, and the protagonists were all lacking when it came to their backstories.